Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Becca with House of Lenormand. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2019. I went ahead and did this reading to see what the Senate GOP is talking about in regards to Donald Trump's impeachment. We got the dog, the tree, the woman, the writer, the scythe on the first row. And then on the second row we have the letter, the moon, the crossroads, the whip, and the ring. We can see here that there's news coming in about a lifelong friend that's being separated here. A lifelong loyal friend. With this here and this here, that's a commitment to a friendship. That friendship is being left behind, with the dog knighting over to the crossroads. What's interesting about this is that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 action cards towards the end of the spread here. This letter here could be a letter that was penned or an article that was penned by an advisor that has become public about the separation and the argument that is being made on that letter regarding separation. And then something that keeps repeating over and over again. And this could quite possibly also be in regards to some sort of an abusive partnership here. Here we're seeing the severing of a commitment, a contract, a partnership, an agreement. On this corner here, we're seeing violations to a document. So this could quite literally be in regards to the Constitution that has been lifelong here and here and here and here. The honor of that Constitution with these two. So there's a severing of a partnership here and then violation here to this article. Since we have 4 action cards here, it's looking like they're talking about when she's going to deliver the articles to remove and separate him here. It looks like the swift and rash decision that was made with the crossroads knighting over to the scythe. The quick and sudden rash decision to abandon our lifelong allies here and sever that partnership is being discussed behind closed doors. But central to the reading, we're seeing the woman and the crossroads. This is a woman that has to make a choice, or a woman that's moving to separate, because this is an action card. So it looks like they're waiting for her to bring forward articles for a vote. Because this is ending here, there may be discussions about severing the partnership with Mango Mussolini. And it's looking like she, with the letter mirroring here to the crossroads, it looks like there's going to be several documents that outline several violations to the Constitution. It's looking like I'm not seeing the mountains, so I can't say obstruction, but that's probably going to be on the articles. It looks like perhaps something to do with the emoluments here, violations to the Constitution there. But it looks like it's going to be several charges with the scythe knighting over here to the crossroads. It looks like they're going to put several charges, and it looks like they're just waiting for her to deliver the article here to separate him. And because it ends on the ring here and it's got the scythe right over, it looks like they're looking to cut that partnership. Mostly because it looks like they're quite angered when the news was delivered of the attacks against a lifelong friend, a lifelong ally. the leaving behind of that ally, and then how there's going to be a continuing attack, continuing aggression here to that ally. So it looks like they're waiting for her to bring it forward so that they can vote. But it ends here on a separation of a partnership. The Moon Knight's over to the writer. That could be talking about someone's honors and reputation, what they've been doing is being delivered. And it's what is being delivered in regards to their reputation and their career and how they're recognized as all of this violations and aggression and abuse. Here we're seeing also a violation to this document here, which could be the Constitution, a violation by inviting here people to come in and abuse our electoral system here, inviting visitors to abuse it, inviting visitors to hack, which is a violation of the Constitution. And here, again, like I said, this is a lifelong ally or a lifelong friend. So it looks like they're going to tack on. If this is the transcript that they released here that was made public, it shows proof of him inviting people in to interfere in the election. So that's going to be on there as well. But I think based on this, it looks like they're more ticked off about leaving these people behind and open to attack here. That's going to be continuous, and it's going to repeat over and over and over again. And then trying to find a solution to that problem. And perhaps their strategy to find a solution is to separate them. As far as timing, she made the announcement with the writer here on the very first day of the fall, which is the Scythe. The Scythe is the fall, and it's also the month of October. So she announced it on the very first day of fall. I think it was September 23rd. And it's quite interesting because this is the card that opens up Donald Trump's grand tableau, and it's in the House of Writer. So it's like falling in line with Donald Trump's original grand tableau that we did. It opened up with the Scythe in the House of Writer. Below it, we had the letter, and then below that we had the ring, and then below that we had the bear. So the tableau opened up saying, yeah, they're going to deliver articles of impeachment. I thought it was going to be in October, but she made the announcement on the first day of fall. Now, here's the first day of fall. This is October. As far as timing goes, this is October 25th, October 27th. I know that you guys have said that you don't see that happening because Mercury is retrograde right now. So we'll have to see, but this is indicating October 25th or 27th. I had done another reading a week or so ago, and we got the clovers, and she announced in 2 days. And then I asked when, and it was the mice and the Scythe. So that's around the 23rd of October. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Because this is a time card, this is an action and time card, this is an action and time card. So we could be guesstimating time here around October 25th through the 27th, give or take a couple of days on either end. And it looks like the more stuff heats up in Syria, that may grease the wheels for them to make that decision to separate here. Because with the crossroads, again, with the crossroads knighting over to the Scythe, that's a quick, sudden, rash decision. And he made the sudden, rash decision to leave these people behind and move out of there, which leaves them open to attack and violence here. Let me read something else and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone. This 3-card spread was to ask if the GOP would vote to impeach and remove Donald Trump. We have the snake, the key, the birds. This is negative, this is positive, this is neutral. There's conversations going on. They're talking, perhaps phone calls, small meetings, but it looks like they're talking about a significant betrayal here. There's a betrayal, there's a lie, but they're talking about perhaps abandoning this right here because there's a significant betrayal that's being exposed that they're talking about. I asked for a 1-card clarifier. We got the Garden. That's a positive card. So this is brought to the Senate. Yeah, they vote to impeach and remove him because of this betrayal right here. Let me see if I can get some timing on it, and I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, this one here was to try to get some timing on when they vote to remove Trump in the Senate. We have the Ship and we have the Heart. The Ship is 3 months, so from October, November, December. That's sometime in December around the 24th, which is weird because that's Christmas. So maybe it's around that time, a little before or a little bit after. And it's quite interesting as well because his grand tableau shows an ending in December. I'm going to pop that up so we can go through it together so we can kind of see if we can pinpoint where we're at on the tableau, and I'll be right back. Hey everyone, so this was the grand tableau that was done for Donald Trump. I did this on April 11th, 2019. I posted the video, I believe, sometime in May. But what I wanted to do with this tableau when I first did it was to look ahead 8 months. So I had set the intention before I laid the cards out to go each column representing a month. So we have May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And luckily, that's how it played out. He landed on the line of fate, okay? So that's going to be pretty significant, meaning that this is a word of advice or a word of warning for the tableau that's coming in for him. So for those of you that are new, this is the grand tableau. He is outside of the tableau. Everything up here is the body of the tableau. I can only see 2 lines ahead because he lands in the line of fate. On this particular tableau, we have the Tower in its own house, meaning that the courts and institutions are going to play a vital, vital role. And we have the Sun in the House of Clouds and the Clouds in the House of Sun. Those 2 positions are mirroring each other, meaning no success, okay? Because the cloud is covering over the sun. You can't see the sun. I'm just going to recap really quickly for the new viewers. The first card that opened up the tableau was the Scythe. The Scythe is in the House of Rider. That's news that's coming in, or the message that's coming in for the tableau. Well, the news that's coming in is a notice of a separation. Right down here, we're seeing an impeachment, a violation to an official document here, Constitution, a violation to emoluments clauses around this little corner here, and his partnership to someone that is represented by the bear. It could also be in regards to William Barr, because he knights over here to the Tower. Okay, so that could be the CEO of that institution, the person that's in charge of that institution. That would be William Barr, as well as quite possibly Russia and his links and promises that were made to Russia, because we have the bear in the House of Ring and the ring in the House of Storks. The ring knights to the storks. So that's leaving and returning, a change and upgrade, and there's some sort of partnership that was formed there. So the first card that opened up the tableau was a notice of separation here, or notice of a cut. The Scythe lands in the House of Rider. Both of those are actions. The first house is an action card because it is the House of the Rider, and the Scythe is an action card as well, and they're both time cards. The announcement to separate for impeachment came September 23rd on the first day of the fall, which falls in line with the Scythe because the Scythe is the fall and October. We can see here, this was Jeffrey Epstein. I had thought that this was Donald Trump Jr. because that's what I had intended for the tableau. But it turned out to be Jeffrey Epstein. We have the cross back on the dog. This person was guilty. Handcuffs, guilty, isolation. Here's an airport. This person's life was in danger. What's interesting is, even if I follow this chain of houses, he's nowhere near the coffin at all. Okay? So I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going to go into it too much because I don't want to get conspiratorial. But we did see Jeffrey Epstein being arrested in July, which showed up here and here and here, which I did mention in my previous videos. Down the center column here, this was August. I know that the house was on recess in August, but there was a lot of stuff going on with his money, his properties, his businesses. Because here we have an institution that has money. So that could be the IRS, that could be banks, and there's several banks involved as well that are coming in from overseas. There is, with the fish knighting over here, that's money laundering. Okay, so that was all playing in the background in August while the house was on recess, but we're hearing about it now. We're also hearing about the whistleblower that had found stuff, I believe it was in July or August, in the IRS. So there's another whistleblower here, whistleblowing to the house with the birds landing in the house of house. I've always said that once we got to September, he was screwed because that's when the investigations start. We have the Fox down the column of September, and it's you have the house right before it. The fox lands in the house of woman. The house lands in the house of man. So that's the investigation into him and his position in the White House right here, as well as investigating his properties, his monies, his banks, taxes, IRS, everything. So that's where we are right now. Well, that's when the investigation started, and I've always said that because of that right there. Once we got to September, that's when the investigations would start. This is everything that's going on with the whistleblower that they've tried to cover up in a super secret black box that has technology. That's what was revealed for the month of October. Here's the server over here. I've always said that someone leaves, and I always thought it was his children that resign in October. I mean, it's still early. It's still October 9th, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But the reason I said that was because we have the child in the house of Fox, the crossroads in the house of child. So that could be multiple children, 2 children that are being investigated. So they resign. Well, what turned out, if we look at this little box of 9 right here, was what's coming out now with the whistleblower that's been brought to light, the conversations and phone calls that were had that he was obstructing that have come to light here in regards to investigating children from a foreign power for the elections, and then the money that was being blocked here, the aid. And in order to clear that up and get the money that was needed, they needed to investigate his opponent's child. So that's what we're seeing for October. And I had also said resignations, simply because we have the stars in the house of lilies and the ship in the house of crossroads. So like multiple people retiring, leaving. So we'll see if there's more people that retire, more people, like, I mean, this could be quite literal, like the rats jumping off the ship. Maybe it's just what's going on with Ukraine. But I do believe, if I read correctly, I think Ivanka, I mean, please let me know in the comments section, but I think they're like reopening stuff in New York for the children and something to do with properties and stuff, false records and all that stuff. But there's resignations, the whistleblowers, and I've also always said rockets and missiles in October. Rockets, missiles, foreign aggression, with the ship knighting here to the whip. Well, that's him abandoning Syria and Turkey moving in to invade Syria. So that's what we're seeing here in October. For the column of November, we're seeing something weird going on here with the Clintons that's being done private. William Barr is playing a part in that. Because we have the lilies in the house of snake. The snake is right under it. The snake is in the house of bear. Bear is in the house of ring. And the ring is in the house of storks. Those people have left. However, it's a power couple. These two here, it's a power couple. And it looks like William Barr was involved in some shady stuff that he's been doing in secret here to attack his opponents here and here. So that's what's in November. If this is the choice that he's forcing Nancy Pelosi to do, it looks like if this is the Senate Republicans as well, because this is older, white, wise, pure man, they betray in secret. The Lilies Knights here to the garden, that's an organization of old white men. And then it knights over here to the ship, okay? It looks like if this is the vote that he's trying to force for the GOP, well, if this is the Senate Republicans, it knights here to the crossroads knights here to the book. Okay, so whatever choice they make, they may betray him in private. If they vote in November, it may be a betrayal that's done in private. The book also is in the house of mice. The mice is in the house of dog. There's some secret corruption here. It could be that he gets put on trial for chronic corruption, abusing and then corruption. There may also be something really serious going on here with his health. But if the vote comes, it may come in perhaps November, maybe, and they betray in private, okay? They may vote in private here with the crossroads knighting to the book. Here we're seeing something, a woman that may be attending a funeral, and I'm wondering if this is, could quite possibly be his ex-wife, because we have the child, the snake, and the woman. This could be another woman here that has kept secrets. This may be Stormy Daniels, but this way it could be his ex-wife that's the mother to the children that he has, okay? We could also be talking about Nancy Pelosi here as well. There's something here with securing the country, and then with the coffin landing back on the moon. That's the end of his career. If we go back up here to the first card that opened up the tableau, we are seeing the Scythe in the House of Rider. These are two very fast-acting cards, and it looks, the Rider is fast-acting, and so is the Scythe, but the Scythe is a little bit quicker than the Rider. So once we got to September, like I've always said, that's when the investigations start by this woman. It's going to be super fast acting with the Scythe in the House of Rider. That's super fast action. And if we look at the corners here, it looks like his presidency is only 3 years. We have the Lilies and then the Anchor. The Lilies is something that takes a very long time. The Anchor is quite secure, but it's talking as far as time goes, it's in years. This is a few months. Well, the Lilies is card 30. Reduce it down, that's 3 years, quite possibly. So he's removed after 3 years. And like I said, the vote may come in private sometime, perhaps around November. If this is the server down here, it looks like what's in there does not come out to the public completely. They may keep something completely closed off from the public for national security here, but there may be some stuff that does come out that has to do with, I'm going to look at this little box here, something that happened overseas, a foreign country here. There's a betrayal and some huge trouble. So there may be other stuff in that server that doesn't come to light to the public for national security. And we can look at that by mirroring the anchor to the garden that's securing the country. Okay, so we're right about up here with everything that's been going on. The revelation of the investigation of a child that happened from overseas in regards to the elections, the conversations, the phone calls that were made in regards to investigating a child here. It looks like multiple foreign countries as well. From previous readings, we've identified Saudi Arabia. We've identified Russia, of course. We're hearing about the whistleblower now, everything that's coming to light here about him strong-arming and blocking money to the Ukraine. So that's right about where we're at. And then down this column, resignations, quite possibly it's still early, investigating the children. Maybe we'll have to see. Rockets, missiles right here. And that's what's going on in Syria right now. I've also said once we got to September, he was screwed because of this right here. We have the lilies in the house. Oh, I'm sorry, the stars in the house of lilies. That's resignations, people that are retiring or leaving. But it's followed by the clouds and the coffin. The clouds is the most negative card in the entire system because it corresponds to the King of Clubs. In a grand tableau, you typically want to see the clouds as far away and behind the stars. Otherwise, it clouds over your direction, your hopes and dreams, your navigational map. You can't see. So I've always said once we got to September, it was downhill. And it looks like he only serves 3 years. If they vote, it's done in private. I may have to read separately here on what's going on with Syria, because this column right here is the whistleblowing. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I got a phone call. So I lost track. Oh, so here's his career. Okay, his reputation, how he's recognized. Well, he's got the coffin right over in the house of Moon. Here we're seeing a separation and a new betrayal here. So it's showing separation here. It's showing separation here. It's showing an end to career here. So there's a sudden, swift separation that puts a permanent end to him. And then there's something going on here with Russia and perhaps William Barr as well. Down this line here, we can see here's September, our column for September. Once they start the investigations, like I was saying, he's screwed because you want this as far away and behind. So he's got a positive card, but it's followed by 2 very, very negative cards, with the King of Clubs being the clouds. That's the most negative card in the entire Lenormand system. And then we're seeing an ending here. So it looks like he's separated. He only does 3 years in office. And here on his line of fate, the news that's being delivered to him is the separation. And then he lands in the house of fish. There's something going on with his money that may have been happening in the background around August or so, banks around July. And then the chronic abuse and chronic corruption, criminality, and thievery here with the mice. The mice lands back in the house of Cross. Okay, so he may be put on trial for chronic criminality, chronic corruption, chronic thievery. If this is in regards to his taxes and all the business records from the banks, because here is an institution that has money. There's several of them, because this knight's over here to the crossroads. They're coming in from overseas. They're fraudulent. And there's money laundering here as well. If this is in regards to his taxes that he's tried to cover up and hide, as time moves along, it does become public. It does become public. And the House is able to obtain those records here and here as part of the investigation. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. Whistleblowers, the investigation into his opponent's children, rockets, missiles, you know, air attacks on our allies. The GOP makes a choice in private, a private betrayal by them, if this is their vote here and here. But it looks like separation after 3 years. And then this is my column for December, so it's showing an end in December. This is a winter card as well. This lands in the House of Snake. We have the snake right below it. A betrayal in the winter, only 3 years. Okay, so I hope that that was helpful. I'm going to cut that off here because I don't really want to get into the entire grand tableau. I have several videos on this channel, or I've done this for those of you that are interested in watching. Just you know, they're on my channel for you guys to go take a look. There's a foreign property here, and then corruption here, corrupt family business, stuff that's going on overseas. We did do a reading a couple days ago, that box spread, and we had, what was it? The moon, the snake, the coffin. Let me see if I can remember it, and I'll put it back up. Okay, so this is a reading we had done a couple of videos ago in regards to his money. And we can see here that he's been trying to block it and cover it up. But it does open up here with the crossroads. It goes several directions. We're seeing several women in government here, a fraudulent bank here. And I had mentioned that there may be a country that's symbolized by the moon. Well, the moon knight's over here to the tower. He does have a Trump Tower, and you guys had said it in the comments section down below that the flag of Turkey has a moon. So we do know, we're just now finding out that he has a Trump Tower in Turkey. They may have lied and threatened to shut him down over there, and that might be why he's separated and left Syria. But it looks like for his money, he's in deep doo-doo, and they're going to shut him down this way. Whatever he's been hiding gets opened up here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. For his grand tableau, it's looking like all that stuff comes out. The overseas stuff, we're in October now. It looks like they already have it. It looks like if I followed the line horizontally, it's kept secret in November, and then it becomes public in December. But just keep an eye out on that. But it looks like the Senate GOP may vote perhaps in November, because the grand tableau is only showing that he does 3 years before he gets cut out and they end him. So please make sure to leave me any comments, questions, any feedback down below. I'd be happy to hear from you guys and engage with you guys. That's a lot of fun. I'm going to try to get up William Barr's grand tableau. It's just been hard trying to find the time. I know there's a couple of viewers that keep asking for it. I'm sorry. Those take me hours to do. So just bear with me, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.